It was indeed a cracker of a match, the first ODI to start off the India tour of the West Indies. And if the action continues to be as thrilling as the first one, we are in for one fascinating series. This is the pre-show of the second ODI between India and West Indies. I'm your host, Damini Basu, and I am absolutely delighted once again to be joined by my very, very favorite Nishant Jeet Arora. Thank you so much, Nishant, for joining. Nishant, let's have you straight away talking with us about your expectations from the second ODI because you must have followed that in the first ODI, India managed to keep their composure, which resulted in them managing to, snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. But if we look at West Indies, they will be, pretty much pumped up with their performance. They definitely lost the match, but they will be extremely pumped up with that, performance that they delivered right till the last delivery.
First and foremost, hello to you and a very warm welcome to all our guests wherever they are watching this show. And as you rightly mentioned, that West Indies would feel really pumped up. I think in the post-match press conference, Nicholas Pooran said that this felt almost like a win. And it's like normally when you lose a close match like this, you have a sense of disappointment. But that wasn't the case here. They were feeling very elated about, they were feeling very happy about it. And why they were feeling happy about it was because if you look at their last 5 games, they have lost it there by the huge margins. They looked completely out of sorts. But in this game, they came very close to
Yes.
win the game. And not just with bat, but with ball as well. While bowling, at one stage, it looked like that India will get 350 runs. But in the last 15 overs, they checked Indian batting and didn't allow them to
Hmm.
post a total which was beyond their reach. And in batting, they were like, they lost that match by the barest of margins. So I think West Indies will look at this game and say that yes, if we get certain things right, we can beat this Indian side. On the other hand, India will also look at this game and think that okay, after getting a good start, why we couldn't convert it into a 330 or 350 kind of a score,
Yes.
and in bowling also
Yes.
why we couldn't stop them. So both the teams have a few things to think about, and I think it will be a very very interesting game of 100 overs to be played at the Port of Spain ground.
Yes, absolutely. And Joyada, we welcome you again. And once again, what a prediction was this from you, Shikhar Dhawan? You getting it right again. Though Surya Kumar Yadav didn't click, but Shikhar Dhawan was outstanding, just like your prediction. Now let's come to you, Joyada. As Nishant was pointing out that how definitely India won and West Indies lost, but the feelings from both the teams was drastically different. Okay, and how are you seeing both these teams get into this second ODI? Because West Indies will be pumped up with their brilliant performance and they will be looking to level the series, while India will have a lot of things to correct.
Yeah, West Indies have won the toss and they have elected to bat, so that is a bit of a change. But I was backstage and I was hearing what Nishant said, and I completely agree with him. I think this is a game that India got out of jail. I thought that they were 30, 35 runs short. In spite, I think they were 200 for 2 or 3 in about 31, 32 overs. They had 18 overs, so only got 109 runs in 18 overs. So, having said that, what they needed on that in the match, that is India, is that they needed somebody to come and get a 22 ball 44, somebody to get a 17 ball 30. That would have propelled this to a really strong total, which didn't happen. If you see the strike rate, not just the runs, but if you see the strike rates towards the end, it wasn't great. And when you're batting in the back end of a 50 over game, it's the same as batting in the back end of a T20 game if you have wickets in hand. This is a much longer game than the T20, we know that. But if you're in the 47th over and you're 4 down, then you can go hammer and tongs, just like you would do in the 17th over in a 2020 game. But that didn't happen. Sanju Samson, Surya, everybody else, they got a few runs, they got their eyes in. But nobody had a good strike rate. Nobody took a few number of balls to get a lot of runs, which would have given them that extra oomph, that little bit of 25, 30 run cushion. That didn't happen. And this is one game that they really got out of jail.
It was a close shave indeed, and the update comes that West Indies have won the toss and this time elected to bat first. Quite different because in the first ODI we had Nicholas Puran opting to bowl first. This time he has opted to bat first. So the news is still there that both teams might be going unchanged. So Nishant, what do you make of this decision by Nicholas Puran? What about it?
Uh, Before we go there, I think an important announcement. I'm just watching the BCCI Twitter handle. So Avesh Khan has been handed over his ODI debut. So he will be
Okay.
making the debut in place of which bowler? We don't know right now. I think most probably it would be uh, unless someone has got either Prasidh Krishna or Siraj has got injured. I think they will replace him with Shardul Thakur. This is what I feel. On the other hand, Hayden Walsh Jr. is making debut for is going to play in place of West someone in the West Indies. So once we get the squad, we'll get that clear. I think in the
Yeah,
last game, West Indies.
I've actually got
Dada,
the
you're
squad.
saying
Yeah, I've got the squad. It's Shikhar Dhawan, Shubman Gill, Shreyash Iyer, Surya Kumar Yadav, Sanju Samson, Deepak Huda, Akshar Patel, Shardul Thakur, Mohammad Siraj, Yuzvendra Chahal, and Ishan Kishan.
Ishan Kishan.
Yeah, that's what
So
it
even
says
Shub.
in the
Changes
website.
changes have been made.
Oh,
No,
sorry,
I
it's
think
not. They've
Dada.
just corrected it. They've just corrected it and put Avesh Khan instead of Ishan Kishan. They've just as we speak.
Hmm.
So it's
Hmm.
Avesh Khan
Okay.
instead of Ishan Kishan. So
Now the updates
basically,
are coming continuously.
yeah. So what happens is Siraj is playing, Shardul is playing, so Prasidh Krishna misses out.
Yeah. So I think going back to the last game, West Indies might have thought that this is a very good wicket to bat, and this time they would like to put a big score like India on the board and put Indian batting under pressure. But this
Hmm.
also opens up an opportunity for Indian bowlers. All said and done, what no matter what kind of wicket it is, it's a good batting wicket. If you're playing a day game, there will always be something for the bowlers in the first 5-10 overs. With the white new ball when bowling from the both ends, the ball will swing a bit, seam a bit, and there will be some moisture. Because in the last game, if you remember, Joyda had very, he like really told us the process when the covers are taken off in a day game and how they are taken off in a day-night game. So here, the covers will be taken off just 1 hour prior to the game, or 1 hour 30 minutes prior to the game. If it's a 9:30 start, the covers will be taken off at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and that means that the sun there won't be much sun for the wicket. So that means the whatever the moisture in the night which would have gone will be there for a while, and India can make some early inroads there. And one must not forget that this is a relatively inexperienced West Indian batting, which
Exactly.
can crumble under pressure. So India would like to make early inroads in their batting order, and both the sides have a different challenge now. Last time India was defending, this
Very
time
true.
India will be chasing.
And
Yes.
just
So
on
it will be
that,
an
Nishad,
interesting.
makes a great point. Also, at 9 o'clock, how strong the ray of the sun is will depend how long that moisture stays. Sometimes there's a
Yeah,
bit of a haze for about an hour, so then it takes more than an hour. If the sun is really pelting strong at night, then it could go in 40 minutes also. So this is where nature
yeah.
makes its impact on the game as well. So you cannot just say that it's going to go in an hour because we don't know what the climate conditions are. It's a very good point, Nishant.
Thank you, Dada.
So, Nishant, is that all from you? Then we can go to Joyada.
Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead to Joyda.
Okay. So, Joyda, now just, expanding on from what Nishant just stated, speaking about pressure, in the first ODI, India had that golden chance to choke West Indies very well because until 189, 190s, they had like 5 wickets down. But after that, that partnership which blossomed, which propelled West Indies to pull the game till the last ball, where India almost had no chance of, getting the game towards themselves. And you had also stated that you had hopes that India's fast bowlers would definitely come in handy against the Windies. What is your message to the Indian bowling attack today? To how should they, because they will be bowling first.
I think the Indian bowlers had a day off. There were some playing after a long time. Some have been warming the benches in England. So no matter how much you bowl in the nets, going and bowling in the match is a different ball game altogether. They were feeling the heat of that. As a batter, when you have a day off, you nick it, you get out and you go back. But as a bowler, you have to continue bowling. Sometimes it gets better, sometimes it doesn't. Very often, not too often, will you see Indian bowlers bowling at 6+ and over to West Indies, and three of them went at 6 and over,
Yes.
which just goes to
Yes.
show the bowling unit did not fire. But just like the batters, they're human too. They're not machines. So they had an off day and they'll come back stronger. Now going back to your question of 5 wickets falling and then having a partnership, we did that against England when Pant and Hardik had the partnership in the famous NatWest final. That happened. So when it happens
Yes.
for us, we say we are a very strong middle order batting. When it happens for them, for others, we can't say that the our bowling was bad. It's just that the others were also good. They're also here to play a game of cricket, and it's a game of skill.
Yeah,
So if somebody does it to you, you appreciate it just like when you did it to somebody else. It's not always
Yes.
our fault if somebody plays better.
yeah,
On that given day, the numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8 batted superbly for West Indies. Yes, there wasn't much in the track. The bowlers were not at their best. That is a given. But that is the reason why, this game is so intriguing. That's the reason why we have pre-shows and post-shows and mid-shows, and we discuss, because there's so many things that can happen. But when it doesn't happen for us, we cannot say that we were bad and we just gave it to them. Sometimes even they were pretty good. We got to live with that.
Yes. Yes.
and Damni,
Uh,
just to add to that Dada's point, I wish there was a way that you write a script in the morning and say that this is how the match will unfold by evening and this is how India will play. So there is, just like life, there's no perfect script in cricket,
And
and
just like you're writing
you
the
have
script, there's a West Indian Damini also writing a script over there for the day to go
yeah.
perfectly for
So
West Indies. And
yeah,
there will
so
be Joydeep and Nishant and Damini in West Indies discussing how could we
yes.
not win
exactly,
this game, against this Indian team. So
yeah.
there's always two sides of a coin.
मैं वैसे मैं जब मेरे को जब मैं क्रिकेट जर्नलिज्म करता था ना, तो मेरे अगर रिलेटिव्स वगैरह कोई पूछते थे ना कि ये मैच इंडिया क्यों नहीं जीती, तो मैं कहता था दूसरी टीम क्या मूंगफली खाने आती है वहां पे, वो भी क्रिकेट खेलने आती है भाई.
I have a friend in America. Every time I have a friend in America, childhood friend. Every time India wins, and it's his team, and every time India loses, it's my team. So if India wins, he
So
said, "Look how my team played." And when India loses, your team is not doing well.
चिट भी
So I
मेरी
tell him
पढ़
in the
भी मेरी.
I tell him in the morning of the match, yours or mine, Abhi bol de.
we NRIs.
Nishant,
You are
speaking
you
of
are not NRI. You are only NRI by your passport and your. Otherwise, you are Desi.
Yeah,
Nishant, speaking of writing scripts, let's allow Joyda to do this, because he himself has admitted that he should be a fortune teller. Every prediction he makes, it has to go true. Like, let's just let Joyda do this, do that. Let's let him tell Team India to
On
win
a
matches
serious note,
for
it's very
us.
on a serious note, it's very important for us to appreciate other teams doing well, opponents doing well also, because this
Absolutely.
game is not only
Yes.
about us. It's about so the way this I actually wanted a part of me wanted West Indies to win because they haven't won anything. We need West Indies to flourish for world cricket to flourish. There's a part of me that wanted us to win. I want to win the series, but I want them to win a game. I want them to, and they came to within a ball of beating a very strong Indian team. And in this West Indies team, there is no Andre Russell, no Sunil Narine, no Karan Pollard, no Dwayne Bravo. In spite of that, they took it to the last ball. And this, which is why Nicholas
yeah,
Pooran has said that, yeah, I feel, it's bittersweet because he feels he's made progress from the last 3 1 days he played against Bangladesh, the 3 he played against Pakistan. He feels he's headed in the right direction, and ultimately he will reach his goal. So it is good to see because we want all the teams in world cricket. Cricket is not football. It's not a 150 sport country sport. It's a 12, 14, 15 country sport. You don't want 4 to dominate.
yeah,
You want all 10 to be in the mix.
yeah. Correct. Absolutely.
Okay, gentlemen, the following question I need both of you to answer. Hierarchy, Joyda first, then Nishant. One comment by Ajay Jadeja made, both of you will definitely be familiar with it, that he finds it very strange why Shikhar Dhawan is in this place of Rohit Sharma, because Shikhar Dhawan is not very aggressive, as you know, with regard to being a captain. So, what are your thoughts on this statement or comment?
Sorry, I missed that one. What was Ajay's comment? What did he exactly say?
Ajay Jadeja is surprised why Shikhar Dhawan is in Rohit Sharma's shoes, because according to him, Shikhar Dhawan isn't that aggressive as a captain should be, according to him.
He's just started captaining, number one. Number two, you can never say, I played with Saurav all my life, and I had no idea he would be the captain he was for India. If you ask anybody in
Hmm.
Bengal at the time, if you ask Anarun Lal or all the people, Ashok Malhotra and Utpal Chatterjee, and the people who played with Saurav before Saurav played for Bengal and after Saurav played for Bengal and Saurav went to play, we knew he was sharp. We knew he was his own man. We knew he would take. He's bold enough to take decisions. But all that doesn't mean that he'll make a good captain. So nobody can ever say Shikhar is one captaincy old. I mean, let us give him at least 10 games. Virat when he started wasn't great. Saurav was he was started. Dhoni when he started wasn't great. So everybody learns, especially. So I think this is I don't know. This is I respect his comment, but I completely don't agree with it.
But I find him as a very good captain, because he, in the first ODI, at least like I find his attitude very nice. He's calm, quiet. He's quietly calm. He'll do his job. He'll play his captain's
I
innings,
I
and then
think
he'll
I
leave you.
think Damni, you know
It's
what?
early days.
I think what Ajay Jadeja is pointing towards is a wider debate, and there are two sides to it. Like there is a lot of debate that why these players are getting so much rests, and there are pros and cons to both. Like there are people who say that Virat Kohli should be in West Indies, and there are people who say that Virat Kohli should be rested. But ultimately, that decision lies with the team management, because they are the one who have the data coming from their physios, from their
Mm,
trainers, and one must not forget, last 2 years have been very tough mentally for all these cricketers, coming out of one bubble to another, one bubble to another.
mm,
So I think team management knows best. And when you have given the responsibility to someone like Dravid,
mm,
then trust him. It cannot be that I
mm.
tell Joyda to do some work and then I keep asking him every second day, why are you doing this? Why are you not doing that?
Yes.
See,
So
Ajay
that,
Jadeja, if Ajay Jadeja came and said that Shikhar is 35, why don't we groom a next captain? I could buy that. I
yeah,
understand where that is coming from. That is a
yeah,
fair point. That you're giving the captaincy to a 35-year-old, give it to a Pant or give it to a I don't know, give it to a Hardik or somebody who's not here, but somebody like that, I can understand that. Pant is not here, Hardik is not here. Who do you in this 11? Who do you give the captaincy to? If Pant was here,
hmm,
Shikhar wouldn't have been captain. If Hardik was
yeah.
here, Shikhar wouldn't have been captain. But if you look at
KL
this
Rahul,
team, eh,
KL
KL would have
Rahul,
been
if
here.
KL
Yeah.
Rahul,
So if you look at this 11, except Shikhar, you can't make anybody else captain because none of them are sure they'll play the next one day. Shubman Gill,
yeah,
Shreyash Iyer, Surya Kumar Yadav, uh, Sanju Samson, Shardul Thakur. Aksar doesn't play when Jadeja is here. Everybody is here because somebody is not here except Surya. So
Yes.
that's
and
the reason why he's been picked. And very funny what Nishan says. I was just hearing a brilliant Johnny Bairstow interview, and Mike Atherton said because it's raining in the South Africa England game, and he says that he's the only man standing who plays three versions for England. Everybody else is given
hmm,
up. He's the lone man standing. 86 Test matches, which is no mean a feat, and he's 31. He's saying, I want to play as much cricket as I can till my body can. Now, for Ben Stokes, is different. Quinton de Kock has given up Test cricket and plays the white ball only, and he's also not that old.
Mm,
So
mm,
it's a very personal decision because
yeah, these
today
are very personal.
yeah, I don't think a Dravid, a Tendulkar, a Kumble, a Lakshman, as much as I know them, they would have played
mm,
every game. They played every
Yeah,
version because
and
there
also
was no
I
T.
think, and
Just finishing on this, there was no T20 back in the day, but they played state cricket. They played Ranji Trophy, they played Dilip Trophy, they played Rani Trophy. They used to play Vijay Hazare. So they somebody like a Tendulkar has played 70 games for Bombay, Test matches, 451 days. He feels stale. You didn't think he didn't get tired? Times have changed, and now it's up to the individual. Somebody who
and
hardly plays
also
Test cricket says, I don't want to play three versions. But best who's playing every test match, every one day, every T20 says I want to play it all. So it depends on the particular person.
Joyda, your
I
volume is
personally,
getting a bit wavy.
Okay.
I personally also feel that I feel that Ajay Jadeja is a very sharp cricket analyst. He has a sharpest cricket brain. So I don't know because I have not seen that comment. I would and I would not jump to the conclusion that this is what he must have said. But coming back to
Or
you
meant.
need to
Or meant.
sometimes, yeah,
Or meant.
or meant sometimes
Nishant, or meant.
sometimes
Meant is more important.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and sometimes when you read the entire thing and you read the context of it, then you understand this is what he meant. So maybe that is something which is missing here. And also, like every personality is different. Damni, you are different. Joyda is different. I look at it very differently. So if Shikhar Dhawan will come and do the captaincy, he will bring his own personality into batting. Do we see Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma captaining as Virat Kohli? Do we see Virat Kohli captaining as Dhoni? And like Dada said, I have spent a lot of time with the great Saurav Ganguly, like when I was covering cricket. So the Saurav Ganguly you meet at the dinner table in the night is very different from the Saurav Ganguly you see at the ground at 10:30 in the morning. And you see, is it the
Definitely.
same guy? So, every player will bring their personality while leading the side. And it can only be judged when they are given a longer rope, when they are given obviously with certain players you can make out you get those hints that this person has leadership abilities or not, or how will he do under pressure, because you can see their personal traits and the kind of decisions they make in cricket or in life. You can make out that. But I feel that I would still like to see Ajay Jadeja's comment and then make a comment on it. I think he must have met something else. I think everyone is the bigger debate right now is about whether players should be rested this much, and I think he must be talking about that because Rohit Sharma didn't play the Test match because he was suffering from COVID, and then he must have meant that he should be invested. That could be Ajay Jadeja's view, and he's entitled to that view.
Yes, definitely. And as we head nearer towards the commencement of the match, let's have you choose your player of the match and matchups. First, Joyada, then Nishant.
I think since India is bowling first, I'll go with the bowling unit. I'm going actually with Avish Khan and Yuzvendra Chahal, these two bowlers. I'm going with them. I think Avish Khan is a fantastic bowler. And if there's a bit of juice, Siraj is always there. We know it. He's a three version bowler for us. He's in the top four bowlers India has right now. And he
Yes.
has replaced, the Ishan Sharmas and the ones that have just gone by Umesh in every version. So I'm going with these two. And as far as the batting is concerned, I'm sticking with the same two. I'm sticking with Shikhar and Surya Kumar Yadav.
It is perfect. Now, Nishant.
I would go with Mohammad Siraj, and I think he will make early inroads in the West Indies batting order. And I feel I would go with Sanju Samson and Shubman Gill today in the Indian batting.
Now, Shubman Gill, Nishant, you reminded me something. Shubman Gill is a brilliant batter, fantastic. Yes, he's a youngster and all, but again, his run out from the first ODI again had Twitter tearing him apart, like usually happens. So
I am
yeah,
sometimes thankful that Twitter was not there when Sachin Tendulkar was playing cricket for India. Sachin Tendulkar
that's
made his
Twitter.
debut. Sachin Tendulkar made his debut in 1989. Do you know when did he get his first 100? One day 100? Give me a guess.
You reveal the secret.
19, 1994. Sachin Tendulkar didn't get a one day 100 for the first 5 years. And then he ended up getting 100 hundreds. So I know someone like Shubman Gill. And, I always say that it's very easy for us to comment. But for someone like Shubman Gill, who I have seen even from under 14 days, when he gets hundreds, he gets daddy hundreds. He's not one of those players who gets 110. If he gets 100, that's 176. That's 182. Go and look at his Ranji Trophy scores and Dilip Trophy scores. Sometimes
Yes.
it becomes a mental barrier. And the day he will break it, you will see many more coming. Like right now, it's a mental barrier for someone like Virat Kohli. Once we
Yes,
get past that
definitely.
mental barrier, that you know that click happens like this. But when it happens, then it starts flowing. So we should hope, rather than putting too much pressure on him, we all know he's a quality cricketer. He has all the talent. He's the future of Indian cricket. Let's back him. Rather than talking about, oh, he has again not converted his 50 into 100, he's still getting those 50s. And say that, okay, now he has got 60s, well played, but now he should convert them into big ones. It's the same thing, but said in a positive way.
On
Yes.
social media, on social media, when Shubman Gill gets 100 and when he doesn't, you'll find more people actually tweeting when he hasn't got one. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's one of the minus points of it because people like tearing our stars apart. On a good day, it's like I'm disappointed that Shubman Gill got 100. I can't say anything bad about him. It's not supposed to be like that. Most of the people who are there have no idea how tough it is in the middle. So you just
And
respect.
social and social media, because I work a little bit in social media industry. I know this industry works on two things. They need two T's every day, one to trend and one to troll. They need someone
Yes.
to be trending and someone to be trolling, and for that they need targets. So today Shubman Gill is the target, tomorrow someone else can be target. So
And
let's
going
not
back to
take
what
social.
Nishad was saying about Sachin, I know these people never used to read the newspaper when they played. So he wouldn't have even had a Twitter account if he was still playing. He wouldn't even
Yeah,
open Twitter.
yeah,
Twitter doesn't exist for him.
yeah,
He's in his bubble.
yeah.
Yes.
Can you imagine not reading the new sports page for 20 years? The cricket page he wouldn't read. He'd read about Pete Sampras in those days. He'll read about Formula One. He'll read about every other sport, the Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls, but not read anything about cricket. They block themselves out. They are special for a reason, Damini.
And to all the critics out there, I do hope you have heard loud and clear what our panelists are trying to say. It is very easy to be critical, but just get into their shoes, the people who are performing for us, who are working so hard for us, and then understand the situation, what they are going through. Let's just always support our stars who are working so hard to ensure we always remain entertained. And with this comes the end of this pre-match show. Once again, my lovely panelists Jaideep Mukherjee and Nishant Jeet Arora enlightening all of us with their brilliant insights and thoughts. Let's just hope once again Team India and Team West Indies provide and perform brilliantly, play very, very good cricket, enjoy good cricket, gentlemen. And that's all for tonight. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.